Our passions, the... Whoops. I'm going to edit this out, actually. Back. Bah. My name is Tim. I create videos that shed light on the absurdities of modern society, as well as highlight humanity's creativity, resilience, and compassion. I believe we need to start publicly acknowledging that capitalism is doing more harm than good. It's important that we talk about sustainable and ethical alternatives, not on the sidelines, but in the mainstream. If you doubt that this will ever happen, I ask that you consider that your very doubt is a reflection of how insidiously controlling our system is. How healthy is it to be so resistant to change that you'd rather tolerate endless violence than even discuss it? This is a touchy subject and my style may not be for everyone, but if my videos do resonate with you, please leave a like. Yesterday when I was scrolling through Facebook, I suddenly got this pop-up on my screen where it was saying my account was being suspended for suspicious activity. When all I was doing was scrolling through really fast, because you know how like in your feed, for every like one post by a friend or a group that you're in, there's like 10 fucking ads or so. Well, I like to scroll through them really quickly and just be like, is this a friend or is this that group that I'm in? I'm only in a couple groups, so like I can look, and it's like, it's not even just like ads that show up as that the alternative to that. It's like these posts by these named people, but they're just like random as fuck, and it's like hidden ads or something. I don't even know. Like sometimes it's just pages that pay to have their shit sponsored, and then you can like their stuff, and then from there you know that their page exists and you can join it, but still a lot of it's ads. And I was scrolling and I wasn't reading the content fast enough. Like I wasn't taking the time to read the ads, so it's like, boop, your account's being suspended. You gotta prove that you're a human. We think you're a bot. So basically I was guilty until proven innocent. That's real cool, first of all. And second of all, I had no access, and there's like no customer support to call because it's Facebook and they don't even have customer support unless you have a business page, and I'm going to get into that later in a minute here. But I don't currently have a business page anymore. I just have a personal account. So there's like no phone number, nothing you can do other than jump through their hoops, which was I had to make this video of turning my head in the direction of the arrows. It's kind of ridiculous. Fortunately, this time it let me unlock my Facebook account. It proved that I'm a human. So now I want to get into the story about in the past, because this is a recent account. I created it a few years ago, but then it was like inactive for a long time. And then less than a year ago, I started using it again. I think it's only actually like 6 months ago. But for a decade plus, I had another account, my main account, and I have a small business. It's like, it doesn't earn much money for me at all. But I ran an ad once for it. And like 2 days after I started the ad, I got this notification. It was saying you need to submit your ID or your ad will be shut down. And so I went and submitted my ID. But then I realized, oh, this was a scam. It was by a random page that was calling itself Facebook Meta Customer Support or something. And it looked legitimate at the top. But then when you scroll down, you see where you were tagged. You and like a couple hundred other people. But I just hadn't scrolled down. I just saw what looked like super legitimate stuff and then submitted the ID. It was like, click on this link that takes you to an external link, and that should have fucking been a clue to me, but nope. So I gave this scammer my ID, and then they hacked my account. They got in and they added their own debit card, and then they tried to charge my own debit card couple $1,000 and then have it refunded to the card that they added. And then there was suspicious activity, so it was shut down. And at the same time, I'm also reporting that I was hacked. So you'd think like it wouldn't be reinstated, right? But no, this hacker had the balls to submit a report that was saying, hey, this was on accident. Like, this is legit. I'm trying to run ads for my shop. Like, I provide a service. I don't have any storefront or anything. So even though I had said that I was hacked, this hacker had put a report in saying, hey, they were really friendly, and I was pissed off, so I wasn't friendly. So the customer support people were like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that happened. Yeah, we'll get those ads up and running again for you. I'm like, dude, I just said I was hacked. This isn't me. They treated my hacker better than they treated me, because it was like impossible to get a hold of customer support. Like there was literally only one way, and you have to own a business to do this. And it was like click, 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 click. Then finally submit a report or something. And then it opens an investigation that lasts for a couple days. And while that's open, you talk to someone, and then you get an email sent to you, and you can actually reply to those emails. But first, there's a little chat where you kind of like go over what happened. And then after 48 hours, everything closes. You can't email anymore. The chat's gone, and it's just like done. So the first time I'm like, hey, I was hacked. I actually spoke to someone on the phone. It was like in August of 2023. I didn't get their name or anything. I told them what happened. They were really friendly. They said they'll look into it, take care of it, and that someone would get a hold of me. And then no one got a hold of me, and like a month goes by. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And at the same time, like when I was hacked, I noticed that there were logins from Pune, India, a couple other ones like Virgin Islands. No, I don't remember. But Pune, India stands out because that was like the main one that kept showing up. And I use a VPN, but never in India. Like it's always the countries near me, never on the other side of the world. So I'm like, this isn't me. And so the guy in August said everything would be taken care of, and then it wasn't because I kept seeing the logins from Pune, India. So then I submitted another report in like September. And I got the same thing. Oh, we'll look into this. We'll take care of it. And then they were like, you'll be contacted by our internal team, and they'll let you know with notes on what happened. And then I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. 2 days go by. The account, the report, the investigation, it shows closed and resolved. I'm like, but it's not resolved. They didn't get a hold of me, and it's still showing logins from Pune, India. So then I opened another one, and then same thing, and again and again and again and again. And I started saying, hey, can I talk to a fucking supervisor here? This is getting insane. This is so ridiculous. Like, you guys just keep promising me bullshit, closing my account or my investigation prematurely, saying it's like resolved when it's obviously not. And then I got one phone call from some California number when I was not expecting to get a phone call. And then they were like, oh, yo, that was us. You didn't answer. Sorry. And then that was like literally, there was one other time when I actually did speak to someone. I was like, I'm so frustrated. Like, I keep getting lied to. And then she was like super apologetic. They always are friendly. But she was like so apologetic and said, we'll absolutely get this taken care of. You'll for sure get notes from the internal team. I'm like, am I though? Is that really going to fucking happen? And of course it didn't. Never got any notes from any internal team, whatever the hell that even means. Like, I would have thought that would meant like, oh, they use this kind of Trojan. I don't know anything about hacking. Like, they would have used this Trojan thingy, whatever. And that's how they got in. But we cleared it out. I don't know. I was expecting them to explain that, at least in terms that me, a non-hacker, would understand. But like, no, never got that. No explanation whatsoever. So eventually I got super pissed off and said mean things. And so they made it so that I could no longer submit any reports, even though I was still seeing logins from Pune, India. So as far as I know, like, it was never fucking resolved. And they were just lying to me. But then, so that lasted from August 2023 to like March of 2024, when I was no longer able to do anything about it. There's no phone number. If you want to send them a piece of mail, you know what their address is? It's One Hacker Way in like Florida or something. One Hacker Way, like to taunt you. Like, I was hacked and you're making it so I have to send, like, the only way to get a hold of you is to send you physical mail to One Hacker Way. Like, fucking arrogance on these fucking people. And by these fucking people, I pretty much mean Mark Zuckerberg. Like, he's in charge of the whole thing. He's making billions of fucking dollars for not giving a shit about our data. They get data breached all the fucking time. He's making billions with a B and employing like hardly anybody. And a big corporation like that, like, they're not going to give a shit about paying their employees a good amount of money is all I'm saying. And obviously not enough employees. Anyway, that was like March of 24. In May of 24, I took a week-long break. And then when I got back on, I had a bunch of notifications. So I took a screenshot because I thought that was kind of cool how many notifications I had. I don't know why. But I got distracted and logged off before I could respond to anybody that had said stuff. And because I did that, that looked suspicious. So they suspended my account. They said, you look like a bot. You got to prove you're a human or you can't have access anymore. And the first thing they wanted from me was my fucking photo ID, which had already been hacked. So that was really frustrating because I'm like, am I submitting this to Facebook or another fucking hacker? I don't know. And it didn't work, I think, because my ID, I was bald, but in my most recent pictures I had my hair back. So that didn't work. So then there was like, click to file an appeal, and that's just to submit a video of like me moving my head and shit, like how I got my Facebook back, my new one, yesterday. Only it didn't work. They're like, oh, nope, still looks like you're a bot. You're never going to have access to this again. Sorry. So there it goes. Like, that was my Facebook, the main one I had for over a decade, the one that my business page was attached to, and it still is. Like, I can see my business page. I can see that the most recent post from it, which was over a year ago now, and it's always going to be from that time. I'm never going to have access to it again. Can't afford to, like, sue them. There's no phone number. And that's Facebook. That's mega corporations for you. If you're a lawyer or know one and there's like a class action going around, sign me up. Jesus Christ. It was just, and again, yesterday, I had to fucking prove I wasn't a bot. I was guilty until proven innocent. It's fucking bullshit. Corporations don't give a shit about you. I feel bad for people who think that they do, because they just absolutely do not. It is so much more profitable to pretend that you care about your employees too. Your employees, your clients, your customers. It's so much more profitable to pretend like you care than to actually care. It's way more profitable to pretend you care while actually fucking them all over. And a corporation, its number one incentive is profit, no matter what. And they can be defended in court because they're treated as persons. It's crazy. And this all is possible because of capitalism. And there are so many things you could come at me with, like counter arguments about how capitalism is good, how about it enables all this other good shit though. And we can get into that, absolutely, because actually it's not really capitalism that's made it so that we've had like the Industrial Revolution and shit. It was the technology. We could have had the technology and then been way more ethical about it. Like, we polluted the shit out of our air with the Industrial Revolution and waters and everything else, and we're still doing that shit. But yeah, any kind of counter argument you want to come up with, put it in the comments section. I'll fucking engage you, like, and respectfully too. Like, I swear a lot, but like, I am passionate about this stuff. I have one more quick story. Broke my ankle a week ago. I was hobbling around on crutches. I went to Menards. I needed to get something because I was working on a project, because I hate sitting around the house all day doing nothing. So I was slowly working on a project. I needed something for Menards. I get out of my van with my crutch in there, and I look over at the cart corral, and I'm like, where are the fucking scooters? Because I wanted to sit on a scooter, because like when you're holding crutches, both your arms are like on the handles of it, so you can't carry anything while you're using crutches. So I was looking for the scooter, so I could put the crutches in the scooter, drive that around, and also put my stuff in the cart of it, the cart of the scooter. But I didn't see one, so I asked the customer service person, like, where's your scooters? And they're like, oh, we only have one and someone's using it. I'm like, why do you only have one? And she said, well, we've asked corporate, but their response was there's not enough foot traffic. Like, they legitimately are denying customers something they need for mobility because there's not enough foot traffic. Like, that's their fucking answer. Like, they're not going to afford, like, it would cost them a couple $100. That's nothing to a corporation. And they're just not going to do it because not enough foot traffic, even though there obviously are cases where someone's using it and someone else needs to. That happened today. They just do not give a fuck about people. I feel so sorry for people that, like, believe they do. Why would you believe that? There's no reason to, other than the fact that they lie to you your whole life. So I guess that's fair, but like, they're lying. They do not care. Foot traffic. What a ridiculous... Why would you not default to like having way more than you think you need out of an abundance of caution and compassion for your fucking customers when it costs nothing to do it? And I'm sure like I could go on the news and get attention drawn to them, and they'd probably supply more scooters because the public would be pissed off. Clearly, like, why would they not be? Like, not enough foot traffic. That's the most bizarre response, like, ever for that kind of thing. Like, I could get, like, I don't even know, like, what kind of, when would that ever make sense even? Not enough foot traffic. Like, maybe if someone wanted to put in a vending machine, not enough foot traffic so they wouldn't get enough purchases to justify the upfront cost or something. That's, like, totally different. So bizarre. I've seen people, like, couples that are, like, really overweight. They both come in, they both grab a scooter. Walmart and Kroger. Can't do that at Menards, I guess. And maybe like there's this logic out there, some argument that could be made, like, well, if you're overweight or if you got like a broken whatever, or if you're disabled, you shouldn't be going to Menards for home improvement stuff. But like they sell more than home improvement stuff. And like in my case, yeah, I have a broken foot, but I'm still trying to fucking do stuff because I don't want to sit around that house all fucking day doing nothing. And nobody really wants to. Like I know a couple people are disabled, and it's like that's hell for them. There's this nasty stigma and this like misconception about it. People want to participate in society and be healthy, and it sucks when they can't. They gave me this feedback form to fill out, and of course there's no phone number on it. I was thinking like if there were a phone number I could call it and then I could record the conversation, but there's no phone number, probably because people would do just that and then post it on social media. So they're trying to protect themselves for being held accountable because they're a corporation and they don't give a fuck. Why would they? We are just dollar signs. We are just purchasing power in the eyes of a corporation. Our inherent worth, our dignity, that means nothing to them. And why would it? There's nothing about money that sustainably recognizes the inherent worth of a human. It's just this upfront one-time thing of like, okay, an hour of work for you. I still do not understand why one person can make 15 an hour, another person can make 30 an hour, another can make 40 an hour. That makes absolutely no sense to me. Burger flipper versus a surgeon. Even in that case, the surgeon is actually like contributing to society, so there's inherent worth. And if everybody's getting what they need from the money, the time they put in, if they're being rewarded properly, not rewarded even, like I hate reward and punishment. Reward and punishment punishes people, de-incentivizes people, fucks with their brain. But a burger flipper, they're sitting there like going like, I'm just flipping burgers, like I'm making it so the customer can eat this food that's not so healthy and they don't really need to eat, but at least I'm doing that, I guess. But the brain surgeon's like, hey, I'm saving this patient's life. So like with that inherent reward, why is time in any different from money out back between the two, burger flipper and surgeon? It just does not make sense to me, because when you do change the values, fuck with the numbers, you throw a wrench in the whole fucking system. I know it's like the thing that is what we depend on, and that's really shitty that we've gotten to this point of dependency. And the alternative is not to like go and live in the fucking woods and like grow all your own food and practice holistic medicine, although that's like totally valid and fair for those who want to do that. But like the majority of people can't do that shit. Not when we're working our asses off and taking care of kids and like all this other shit. There's no time for that. We are so distracted and so dependent on this machine, but at least we can see that, right? Take a little tiny bit of time to at least question it, like legitimately question it, and stop taking everything for like face value, especially when we know that, like, I think most of the people that I'm talking to, you guys understand, like, corporations are not your fucking friend. And if you have a system that, even if you forget about the fact that, like, 1 hour of my time is not the same of your time, unless we're both making the same amount of money per hour, which we probably aren't, right? Like, even if you, like, forget that for a second and just think about the fact that, like, we have this system that's, like, set up that's in such a way that is super selfish. Everybody acting in selfish ways, self-serving. I gotta like grab as much money as I can from the pot and bring it into my lap and hoard it. How does that translate into something that's good for everybody? Even if it was like 1-to-1 hour in, there's only so much in. It's like musical chairs, and it's like you need to get that chair or you're gonna fucking die. So of course you're gonna try to get that chair. You're gonna try to get 10 chairs. We gotta question this shit. We gotta talk about, first of all, those who don't get that capitalism is destroying our lives utterly in like a prison, very, very, very much like a prison planet way. Like we think we're free, but we're so not. First of all, understand that and talk about that. But then obviously, like, because I don't want this channel to be all negative shit, like we can talk about really awesome shit. And we have really awesome shit going on. All of the organizations that provide shelter and charity to people in need, all of the education drives for, like, I don't know, back in the 90s about smoking, and the suicide prevention stuff, that's still very prevalent. Mental health awareness stuff, I could go on and on and on. All that awesome stuff, but like it's all hitting this ceiling that it can't get through, and we gotta acknowledge why. Because we're in this system that's putting everyone against each other and saying, like, you gotta hoard as much as you can and everything is scarce, and the more scarce things are, the more valuable they are, and the more valuable they are, the more people are gonna fight each other for it. Does that make sense? Hold on. The more scarce things are, the more valuable they are. The more valuable they are, the more they're gonna be hoarded. And the more they're going to be hoarded, the even more scarce they become. So capitalism is destroying the planet. What can we do about it? We can talk about resource-based economy. We need to talk about this stuff. We need to make a movement and support the things that get there, like universal basic income, free healthcare, free college tuition, and debt forgiveness, of course, before that, or alongside that. And if you're someone who's like against that because you worked your ass off to go to college, like, why do you want other people to struggle and suffer just because you did? Fuck that. Please heal your wounds. And if healthcare was free, you could go to a mental health counselor for free as long as you need. And that the people that you would be going to, they are in business to do that. They have the incentive. That's why they are, at least presumably, that's why a therapist is a therapist, because they want to fucking help. So it's like they have that inherent reward. So don't feel bad about going to a therapist. They're there to help you. That's what they want to do. We all have our skills, we all have our talents and our passions, and the more we can follow our passions, the more we follow our passions, I think the better off we all are, because we're not like lying to ourselves. There's so much of that going on from corporations, but also to ourselves. Like, we put on these masks, just try to fit into society, and it's this pathological, psychopathic behavior, and then we're all fighting against, like, it's this, everything becomes black and white with corporations and money and shit, and it puts this layer over our heads, this lens over our eyes. And we have to fight that, because, like, you can't box someone in this black and white blanket statement. We have this inherent self-worth. We are, like, invaluable. So $50 an hour, it's not shit. It'll never touch what our actual value is. $1,000 an hour, $1 million an hour, it doesn't fucking matter. No amount of money is ever going to come near what we are actually worth. I know how, like, some people are like, oh, come on, Tim, like, $1 million an hour. But no, seriously. Because what is $1 million an hour if it's $1 million to buy a bread of loaf, because of inflation being so fucking high? No, the real value is something that's sustainable, something that is like a community, and where everybody's like, they find what they're passionate about so that they can help serve the community, and the community helps them right back. Not fucking each other over like we're doing now, left and right. Like, it doesn't have to be a dog-eat-dog world. It really doesn't. It's already hard enough where, like, there are finite resources on this planet. We don't have to fucking exploit the shit out of that. We should be doing the opposite. We should be trying to make sure that there's plenty enough to go around. So, like, if we know we have to feed X amount of mouths, then plant as many fucking seeds as you need to plant so that you can feed those fucking mouths. If there's plants aren't there now, then make sure that they are in the future. If there's not enough fucking forests, I mean, we're chopping them down like crazy. That's insane. How fucking, oh my god. By the way, can someone please leave me a fucking comment? Like, I'll engage you. I'll make a whole video as a response if you want. I'll go into this shit, because it makes sense. And I think I've said this before, but, like, it's not like it's just this thing that I'm clinging to, this opinion. No, it's like this, it's this logical conclusion that you arrive at. And I think I've said it. There's 3 different ways you can arrive at these conclusions. That resource-based economy is where we need to go, and capitalism is destroying us. You can arrive at it with logic, because it totally makes sense when you think about it. I can engage anybody with the logic. Or you can arrive at it with compassion. Like, yeah, you should be taking care of people, not, like, considering them as just numbers, ones and zeros, and this black and white lens. And what was the last one? All right, so I just thought of the third thing. There are 3 ways that you can arrive at the conclusion that that capitalism is destroying the planet, and that we need to talk about something that's way more sustainable and ethical and more focused on people and the planet. And the first one is using logic. You can logically deduce that this stuff needs to happen, even if you don't really care too much about doing the right thing. Like, you're not driven by morals. Like, at least by logic, you can get in that direction. But then again, the second one is compassion or morals. They kind of are about the same. So if you want to, like, see people not suffering so goddamn always, or animals or seeing the environment being polluted left and right. That's another way that you can arrive at that conclusion. And the third way to arrive at that conclusion is a mandate or a nudge from a divine, spiritual, or religious guide or authority figure. So even if you don't think that logically it makes sense to get rid of capitalism and steer in the direction of more sustainable shit, even if you don't really care about people at all, the fact that you have you're a God-fearing Christian, for example, or you got this intuition from spirit guides saying that actually you should be looking into that, that's another way that you can arrive at that conclusion. I don't have a good ending, so I'm just going to say corporations suck ass and people are where it's at. Take care of yourselves, and if you can, think about one thing that you're grateful for when you go to bed tonight. And then in the morning, think about another thing. And then at nighttime tomorrow, think about a third thing. And that's it. Take care. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to stay up to date with even better content as I evolve and improve. If it feels right, consider leaving a comment. I'd be happy to read any questions or topic requests you may have. But whatever you do, please take care of yourself. As Desmond Tutu said, "My humanity is bound up in yours, for we can only be human together."